Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate some stitching for you if you are left-handed. Now, some left-handed stitchers prefer to stitch like a right-handed stitcher. In stitching, as you've seen in the previous videos, you are stitching normally from the right to the left, okay, from the top. Now, if you are left-handed, you can stitch from left to right and start at the bottom of your canvas. So instead of starting at the top right corner of your canvas, you can start at the bottom left corner of your canvas. So I'm going to do a waist knot. I'm going to do a waist knot. I'm going to do Continental first. So I'm going to do a waist knot here. Now, obviously I have to demonstrate this right-handed because I am not left-handed, but if you're left-handed, you're obviously going to be holding it like this, and you're going to come up vertically, or you're going horizontally over. And so you're going to stitch just opposite, okay? You're going to stitch from northeast to southwest, or you're going to stitch from New York to Arizona, okay? And you're going to move like a book reads from left to right. So I'm going from New York to Arizona, New York to Arizona, okay, New York to Arizona. You can see this is a little bit awkward for me because my hand is in the way, and this is probably how it would be for you if you were trying to do it the right-handed way with your left hand, okay? So remember, I'm going from the bottom of my canvas up. So now I'm going to go to the next row up. And so in that case, I'm going to have to reverse my stitches for Continental stitch, okay? So from this time, I'm going to need to go from Arizona to New York, just like the right-handed stitcher would reverse when going the opposite way, so would you. Arizona to New York, Arizona to New York, Arizona to New York, okay? And there, still got the look of those Continental stitches, okay? Now, for basket weaving, again, you would start at the bottom left-hand side of your canvas, okay? I am going to start with a pole, okay? So I'm just gonna come over here and start with a pole. So I'm going to be stitching from New York to Arizona, okay? My very first stitch is at a pole. Now here's the trick. You still need to go down the poles and up the steps, okay? Down the poles and up the steps. So my next is a step, okay? So I've got to go up the stairs. All right. And I do this too. Sometimes if a canvas is big and awkward, or I've got little parts, I'll reverse my stitching. Now I've got poles, so I've got to slide down those poles. So again, I'm going from New York to Arizona. In basket weave, one thing I love about basket weave is you're always coming up through a clean hole, unless you're butting up to a different color, and going down a dirty hole. And that just makes your stitches so much cleaner. Going up the steps, up the steps. Okay. And down the poles. And I know that if you're left-handed, you're kind of already used to having to look at things differently in life because it's kind of a right-handed person's world. So I understand that. So sometimes you'll have stitch books that'll teach different stitches. And I've seen recommendations by the writer to just turn the pattern upside down. so that you can see how you would do the pattern in an opposite way from a right-handed stitcher. Okay. So your basket weave will end up having that same woven pattern. It'll look a little bit different, okay? And then you will cast it off the same way, either vertically or horizontally is how you will cast off and trim your thread down when you come to the end of either that color or your thread, okay? So that's how to stitch if you're left-handed.